Dictators, Davos, and the real threats to our economy. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, January the 28th, 2024. And here we are looking at a situation of a market that continues to go higher. I can't argue with the tape. We don't fight the tape, but we continue to have the news things pile up. And of course, the geniuses in Davos and the wealthy are scheming to destroy even further the middle class with more damage than they've already done. You have to ask yourself, if 88% of the states are reporting falling unemployment, or rising unemployment, and telling you that they're laying off people and there's not any jobs, how does the federal number remain low? How do we continue to not see the forest for the trees as we continue to see the jobs get destroyed, more layoffs, more companies laying off, and yet we continue to have these low numbers? Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? It's something that you really have to, it's a real puzzler, okay? As you look at increase in real spending was 5 times the increase in real disposable income. Well, for the school I went to math for, tells me that if I'm spending 5 times more than I'm making, probably not a very good formula. And of course, we know the credit card debt is at monster levels. And again, the numbers are ridiculous because we can't talk about numbers because they just grow so fast. But the number of people at limit on their credit cards has never been higher. The beautiful thing is of course, bankruptcy debt is not dischargeable. The credit card debt is not dischargeable through bankruptcy. As bankruptcies rise, and we're up 17% in 2023, but we can see that we have no jobs. Levi's is now cutting people, so that now puts the list at Meta, Google, Amazon, Wayfair, Walgreens, Levi's, and a bunch of others. Okay, not to mention the companies that are going out of business. But yet, let's keep going to Davos, and let's keep having all the genius in the world talk about climate control and how to take care of that. Of course, if you read the article of last week in the Wall Street Journal and Epoch Times, which was that the COT, it's all a bunch of bullshit, okay, which is we have said all the time. Again, I don't have a problem with trying to cut down pollution. I don't have a problem with trying to make things better. But as I've said repeatedly, if you're going to have China and India that burn coal, and they are 42% of the world, then it's going to be kind of hard to get any better than you are right now. The EV market has turned out to be a hoax. Okay, it's turned out to be bullshit also, because of course they have not done what they said they're going to do. And of course, if you saw the scene in Chicago last week when nobody could charge their cars, it was kind of interesting. Kind of nice to see a bunch of people stranded, but you can see that this is more of a scam to steal money. Okay, not by the EV makers, but by the government subsidies and all the other stuff and the deal makers that were done. But again, it's that now they're trying to cut back on making LNG, which is liquefied natural gas. Biden is such a great president that he's trying to cut that back now too. Now, if I remember correctly, that natural gas is where we're going in the future. That was the original future plan, okay, before we came up with the scam of the EV market. But again, we can continue to argue this point, or we can just move on, which we will just move on. The federal deficit grew only another 89 billion, 89 billion more in the first quarter of 2024 than in 2023. Now, part of that is inflation, which, of course, they say we don't have inflation. They tell us that inflation is getting better. And I say, okay, prove it, show me. But of course, it's not. We can see by the growth and by the numbers that something is wrong somewhere. Okay. But I think the real interesting thing here is going to be, will the Fed be able to manufacture the rate cuts that everybody's banking on? Okay. And why everybody's banking on rate cuts doesn't make sense to me either, because let's look at it from a reality standpoint. Markets will price themselves if you allow them to do so. Okay. Having the Federal Reserve and the government manipulate rates is total garbage. Okay. The interest rate market should be what the markets will bear. And of course, you can see that there are issues. There are issues in the housing market. How do I know? Well, because I'm looking at a new house, and now they're making deals on new construction. They're offering mortgage rates below market right now. Well, that's telling you, again, you can ignore all the warning signs you want. And I am not telling you to get short the market or anything. I'm just telling you straight up that at the end of the day, we cannot continue to ignore everything. Eventually, all of these warning signs will come to pass. Okay. Not to mention that, of course, in Seattle, in Washington, in Oregon, in Portland, okay, Nike, Target, and Starbucks are shutting down stores. Okay, that's their homes there, by the way. But of course, crime is killing them there. And to add insult to injury, okay, crime pays, because the Black Lives Matter rioters got a $10 million settlement for excessive force. Now, if I remember correctly, those were all peaceful demonstrations. So once again, let's stick it to them in the drive-through. If you remember the movie Lethal Weapon 2 and Joe Pesci, I won't use the word that they effed you in the drive-through, but in the meantime, Jamie Dimon, the great CEO from JP Morgan Chase, okay, says that we are driving towards a cliff as the debt snowballs. Again, this debt will eventually have to be paid. How long do you think it will be before there's not a problem? Okay, I think that we've got inflation giving the Fed the finger, which it should, because the Fed should be eliminated or at least audited. But of course, we don't care about that. That's another wonderful thing that we get to deal with, because why isn't the Fed audited? Why aren't the banks audited by an independent party? I mean, if you think the banks are solid, as they say they are, why aren't their books open? I mean, again, you can ignore all of the things that are wrong in this country. You can ignore everything, but like always, there's going to be a crisis. There's going to be a meltdown, and of course, if you're below a certain line in this economy, you're going to end up dealing in a socialist or a communist country. Okay, because of course you can watch what's going on as they continue to destroy the small business, the small person, and it is not the same. It is not fair. And of course, your freedom is being destroyed along with your freedom of speech as you watch these ridiculous news channels and elections and what's going on. And of course, this is an election year, which I will talk a little bit about when we get into our commentary. But there's a lot of warning signs out there, okay, from illegal immigration to too much debt to too much money in the system that was put there artificially by the Fed to destroying your freedom. Hey, that's up to you. You get choice for now. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 28th. We're going to stop out here for our break and come back with our market report. Well, kids, what's up? Hope you had a great weekend. Of course, as you know, I give you my sponsors each and every week. And again, I'm giving you people that I have vetted, that I use myself. That's the sponsors I believe in. And of course, I have other brokers because they are brokers, but I have other brokers that I have, but I prefer these because they're cheaper, better, more efficient, and they give you great customer service. And the first would be Capital Trading Group for your futures and commodity needs. They're partners with us on the Day Trader's Dream. They are also handle all of our letter of direction trading. Phenomenal customer service, do a great job, very fairly priced for the letter of direction trading world, and certainly interesting for you to check them out. Go to info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And of course, our other brokerage partner is Trader Brokerage, $10 a month, flat commission. I mean, how can you pass that up? And of course, they can automate your equity portfolios with us that we trade at no charge, still $10 a month. And of course, if you want to use our hedging software, we charge a licensing fee of $150 a month, but the brokerage fee doesn't change. Try.trader.com/Bubba. And Wall Charts, which is a new platform we'll be using very soon as I get much more comfortable with it. But it's a great platform, had a lot of great things you can do. Certainly want to check it out. That's one of our new sponsors. Of course, our high school program, which is scrolling on the bottom. Our partners are scrolling on the side. Check them out as we try to educate and give our students, our young people, some financial literacy, so maybe they'll save this country instead of continue to destroy it. Bubba's Bottom Line. Let's get back to the show right now. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 28th of January. And of course, we always talk about the markets and check out our market report. And as we look around, and of course, last week was another up week as the markets continue to defy all possible negative news. And again, that's not a surprise. Okay. I want you to understand that, that the markets will go up until they don't. And we've been long. So again, it's not like we're fading or going against the market. We've been long the market throughout most of this rally. And that's not going to change anytime soon, because why would I decide that I can fight the market? That's something that we don't do. That we don't want to try and fight the tape. We want to be with the market and know that at some point the direction will change. Meantime, for the week, the indices were higher. We are long. So we are still long everything but the Russell. Okay. And again, what I want to remind you of as well is that, for those of you who listen every day, we have some changes because during the day sometimes we're flat, even though we have the net trend is what we're trading. Okay. In the meantime, in the US dollar, we don't trade it anymore, and we don't trade it only because it's too expensive because of the brokerage in New York. But we would be long it. It had a higher week. The euro currency, we are short. Bitcoin, we are long. In the bonds and notes. Okay. The bonds and notes, we continue to be short. And of course, that is telling us that the interest rates are going up and not going to get cut. Okay, that's something to remember. Okay, because again, how the Fed thinks they're going to cut rates is beyond me, but we'll see. Maybe they're just trying to screw Trump later in the year. In the meantime, in the metals, gold, we're still short, along with silver. And again, I think that when you look at the bigger picture, I think there's probably going to be a buy here sometime pretty soon. But we are still short. Platinum, we'd be short if we traded in that market, but it's not liquid enough for us. Copper, we're long, and in natural gas, we're short, and the crude oil, I apologize. We're long crude oil. Okay. And again, it's interesting because you saw on Friday how crude broke down, then rallied, and broke down. It's kind of interesting what's going on there, but it's a sign of the economy. And of course, in the grain markets, they continue to get hammered. Every rally gets sold. It's really kind of sad and disgusting. At some point, there's going to be some kind of bottom, but we are short the grain markets across the board. Cattle pushed a little higher. We don't trade anymore, but we would be short. Hogs were higher as well, which we would be long. In the softs, cocoa was up for, excuse me, up for the week. We are long. Cotton was down for the week. We would still be long. Sugar was higher. We're long. Coffee is higher. We're long. And OJ, we're going to reverse tomorrow morning to too long. We were short. So again, really, my biggest concern here is the slow lack of activity in the market, the lack of action, the lack of trade, the lack of interest, the lack of participation. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, we're going to stop out here, break, come back with my commentary, and of course, my football picks for today. We'll be right back. Well, kids, again, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel, but the brokers I use, that I share with you and that I use myself, Trade Your Brokerage, Capital Trading Group, and of course, Well Charts, which is one of our new platforms and great partners. And of course, don't forget about our high school program. And they're scrolling the sides and on the bottom. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, my commentary and football. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 28th, 2024. And, I tell you, I always find it interesting as we continue to watch and we continue to see our freedom destroyed. And you see the political scene, and something is gnawing at me because listen, there's going to be presidents that I like. There's going to be presidents I don't like. Again, I'm a libertarian. I'm more in the middle. But what I find kind of concerning here we are coming to another election cycle, and you've got Trump on one side and Biden on the other. And hey, again, why we have two people that are 100 years old, running this country. But what I find interesting is Trump is leading in all the polls, and it doesn't seem to me that the Democrat side has any concern. It's almost like they have the election already stolen. It is like they already know the result of what the election is going to be. And of course, obviously, there's some bombshell coming at some point, because between the Supreme Courts in different states taking Trump off the ballot, between some of the other things that are going on, it's not whether we vote for Biden or Trump. I think what you should be worried about is that one party that should be a little bit concerned based on the current administration, okay, because you can't think that they've done a good job, okay, versus another party that should be have a great chance to win and is ahead in basically the polls they follow. And I don't believe in polls, but I'm giving you what they give you. But yet the party that's in trouble seems to not have a care in the world. It's almost, as I said, as if they know what the results are going to be when they come out. And, the shift in African-American voters, the shift in a lot of the minorities, okay, unless they think they have so many illegals here. I mean, if you've seen what's going on at O'Hare Airport and other airports where people are living, it's something to think about, because at the end of the day, they should be concerned, and they don't appear to be concerned. And to me, it tells me that they know something. Okay, the Duke brothers know something, and they got some scam figured out here. Just a point of concern, a point of contention. Think about it. In the meantime, two games today, two football games. We do like the 49ers, and we do like the Baltimore Ravens, and we're going to play them on the spread, on the money line, and we're going to parlay them together. In the meantime, have a great week, everybody. As always, I thank you for being here. Remember, be careful. There's no reason to fight the market. If you can't go along with it, then it's best to observe it and wait until your time. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you later. This is Bubba's Bottom Line.